Hey guys, how you doing? It's Tom. I'm back with another video. I know it's been about a week or so, guys. I'm glad you hung in there with me. I just was a little busy, so wasn't able to really put out any videos in the last week or so. This video, I think I want to just call it like, it's not necessarily the top five, but it's like five sort of recommendations from me as far as like, when you come here to live in the Philippines, okay? So they're not necessarily like, oh, the top five, like the ultimate, best five recommendations I could ever give you. But they're like five things that you might find useful, if you're living here. It doesn't really apply, I think, if you're just visiting, but if you're coming here to live, okay. Number one, I would recommend, even though, you can buy fruits and vegetables, obviously, at the grocery store, Pure Gold, SM grocery store, SNR, right? If you become an SNR member or Landers member, you can buy fruits and vegetables there. But I'll tell you something, even at the local grocery stores, this applies. It's always going to be a lot more expensive than buying it at a market. Buying, fruits and vegetables is what I'm talking about. Now, meat also, but, meat, personally, I would stick with just buying meat at SNR or Landers or whatever, if you can. If you're a member, if you can be a member over there, it's not that expensive. It's like, what is it, 700 pesos a year? And then sometimes they have deals where, it's only 400 pesos, but, whatever, it's about 700 pesos, which is like, what, $13, So it's not like, $60 a year like Costco or whatever it is now, whatever Costco is now. It's quite a bit less than that. But concerning fruits and vegetables only, just, you could buy it at the market, right? And preferably, if the market near where you live doesn't really have marked prices, then if at all possible, have your girlfriend or wife go there, and don't be with her, because if they see you, and there's no marked prices, that price could jump up. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, these are 30 pesos each, and then when they see you, it's like, oh, it's 40 or 50 pesos each now. Whatever you're talking about. Just for example, right? So that's my one recommendation, though. But I mean, because you can get like the fruits, especially fruits, man, they could be like half the price at a market, than it is in the store, even in the local stores here. Not even like, I mean, SNR is sort of like, is going to be a little more expensive because they have stuff from other countries and even from the West and all that. But I mean, even the local, even like Pure Gold, which is probably a lot more affordable grocery store here, compared to like SM. But yeah, so that's one recommendation. And this one's kind of interesting, right? Like, let's say you've got a couple of, this would apply to you if you have more than one bank account in the U.S., let's say, right? Like, let's say maybe you have, some kind of like Fidelity or Schwab account, right? Where you're going to be using, you're going to have any of your income or pension is going to go into there, right? And that's kind of like the bank account that you're going to live on, like, because you've got that card, the debit card, you don't have to pay fees with it. So you're kind of living off of that account, right? But then let's say you have another bank account, in the U.S. Whatever you do, if you don't have, let's say on your second bank account, you don't really have any income coming into that account. It's just kind of a savings account or whatever, right? Even if, I mean, it could be a checking account and a savings account, but whatever it is, there's nothing going into it, okay? Don't make the mistake of sort of like paying bills here in the Philippines when you're living here in the Philippines from that bank account. You know what I mean? If you can help it, just pay the bills from your income bank account, you know what I mean? Which is coming out of your actual living budget, you know what I mean? Now you might get hit with something every now and then that's sort of an unscheduled bill or something, or maybe you might have to dip into that other bank account. But just for monthly stuff, even if it's only, a couple $100 a month or something like that, if it's some bill from the U.S., from a property, for example, or whatever, from that you might own, uh, just try and, if you can, if at all possible, pay from the bank account, that you have income going into. You know what I mean? So that's kind of important, because otherwise you'll see that savings, that other account will start dwindling. Because it's like you keep paying these, and it might not seem like a lot of money, like, oh, it's maybe $200-300, and then, oh, maybe I'll make my credit card payment if you have any kind of credit card balance. Well, I'll make that off of that account too. And then before you know it, you're like, oh, geez, that account's starting to get a lot lower or whatever. So anyway, that's one recommendation. It's easy to forget to do that too. Once you start living here, it's easy to kind of lose track of that a little bit. But that's why I'm just giving you a reminder. Also, if you can, because sometimes when you're retired, like a lot of us, or semi-retired even, you sort of like, you're not used to sort of keeping track of your appointments and stuff like that, and you might forget something or whatever. And just don't forget to use I use Google Calendar, right? For not only for appointments, which really I don't have that many appointments, but certain bills or whatever are due, you know what I mean, at certain times of the month and different times of the month sometimes, right? And just, it's good to have those reminders so that, hey, I don't forget the electric bill. Oh, I won't forget, I don't want to forget the internet bill, or the rent or whatever, that it's coming, or that someone's coming to collect it or whatever, So it's good to use, there's different calendars, but I just happen to use that one, Google Calendar. And I would say, let's see, 1, 2, 3, and you know what? I know I've mentioned these before, probably on a previous video, but like the food apps, like Food Panda and Grab, right? Because Grab is actually good for like a taxi app as well. It's just like Uber and Lyft in the U.S. Well, here it's Grab, right? But they also do food delivery, right? And grocery delivery. Now, so in other words, you could order food from restaurants through Grab and then have them deliver it, like, dinner, lunch, whatever it is. Or even groceries they do, right? And then Food Panda, they do, I think, as far as I know, Food Panda is more of a like restaurant foods, like you want to order a meal and have it delivered, you go through them, right? Food Panda, and they're both pretty good, and they're both like very low delivery fees, and you don't have to really tip. I mean, if you tip them 20 pesos, man, they're happy, the drivers. But it depends on how far they've gone, you know what I mean? If they got to drive, like, if it's a 10-15 minute drive or something, or 20-minute drive to deliver your food, then, just use your discretion. But I mean, maybe you might want to give them a little more of a tip. But where I'm at here, or where we're at, it's very close to everything, you know what I mean? Like, they almost don't even need vehicles to deliver for us, so 20 pesos is great for, but that's something I would recommend, and it's the food here is pretty, pretty reasonable. I mean, we get, a meal for 4, often with leftovers, for basically like $5 a person, US, you know what I mean? For like $20, $21, something like that. And it often has leftovers, so I mean, you can't really beat that, It's a decent meal too. It's not, it's, you know what I mean? It's like, it's not just fast food, it's sort of, decent food, like chicken and stuff like that. It's not just like hamburgers or whatever, So anyway, and then I think my last suggestion would be, again, I'm pretty sure I probably mentioned this, but a good way to sort of have cheap entertainment here, like on the television, especially if you don't have cable, if you just have internet and you don't have like cable that goes with it, even if you do, it's going to be, it might be kind of limited, man, the apps, like, there's free apps out there, like, Tubi and Peacock and Pluto. There's even like Fox Now, which I didn't even put on my TV, but it was already on there, because it's the landlord's TV. It's a furnished apartment where we live, and I was able to watch the Super Bowl this year. I mean, the Monday morning I watched it. You know what I mean? Because of the time difference. But I mean, I watched it live on that Fox Now app. For free. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't have to pay anything. But there's we also have like Amazon and Netflix. Those are about $10 a month each. U.S. But then there's other ones too. There's Vudu, which I think has some free stuff, but also has rental stuff. And there's Roku that has like a free stuff too. You know what I mean? There's a paying version of it, and then there's free version of there's stuff that they do have for free, and YouTube, which we all probably watch YouTube, right? Well, there's free movies, man. There's a bunch of free movies on there. At any given time, there's like almost 200 free movies on there available. You know what I mean? And, at any given time, and I think they change a little bit, every so often, but right, they're going to put different movies on there. But yeah, it's a good deal, So I would definitely, I would definitely take advantage of that. You know what I mean? It's just, why not? It's like free. But you know what? When you're using all these apps, right, except for Tubi that I mentioned, all those ones that I mentioned, you really want to have a VPN, virtual private network, because those are mostly American apps, and if they know that you're out of the country, it's not going to work, or there'll be a reduced version of it. You know what I mean? So you're definitely going to want to get a VPN. So I guess that would probably be my sixth recommendation. So, all right, guys, but that's about it. I just wanted to put some of this info out there, help you guys out a little bit. So, all right, man, have a great day, and please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks, man. I'll see you later.